Hurricane Beryl is a monster Category 5 storm as it continues on a path that's expected to take it near Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Beryl caused major damage after making landfall in the southeastern Caribbean. At least one person was killed in Grenada and another in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines says that 90% of homes on Union Island were destroyed. Beryl is the earliest Category 5 storm to ever form in the Atlantic. And with the latest developments on this powerful storm, we're joined by Chris Fogarty, program manager and meteorologist from the Canadian Hurricane Center. Chris, thanks a lot for taking time to speak with us about Beryl. So I have to ask you this. We were in Jamaica, like a couple months ago, and I remember someone saying, hey, Jamaica doesn't really get hit a lot by hurricanes. Let's talk about the timing and positioning of this storm.
Yeah, what's really unique about this storm is its early occurrence in the season for such a strong storm. Normally we don't see Category 4 and 5 storms until the latter half of August into September, but the oceans warmed up so quickly this year that they've led to the conditions favorable for storms of this intensity this early.
And also, Chris, what about the use of hurricane names and naming the storms? Because wasn't there another Hurricane Beryl or Tropical Storm Beryl just a few years ago?
Yes, Beryl has been around in the name list for a while now. Every 6 years, the names are reused unless the storm is particularly damaging. It caused a lot of fatalities. It will be retired. So the one from 2018, I can't remember the specifics of it. I don't think it affected any land areas, so the name continues in the name roster, so to speak.
But that could all be changed with this. I mean, it's now Category 5, and it is making its way, towards land, more land.
That's right. And you mentioned Jamaica is on that the northern or right-hand side of where Beryl is expected to go. So that's the uneasy side. You don't want to be on that side of a hurricane. So there's some concern right now with Jamaica.
Okay, and, talking about the storm's path, what are we looking at here?
This one, as far as its direction, its path, it's a fairly well known, a fairly focused prediction. We're pretty sure that it will continue west and eventually get toward the Yucatan Peninsula, then into the Gulf of Mexico, the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico. The storm is quite far south. A lot of hurricanes are a little further north, typically in September. So some islands that don't normally get hit too hard, like Jamaica and Grenada, are seeing the effects of this storm.
And Chris, what exactly are you all keeping an eye out for in the Canadian Hurricane Center?
So yeah, what we do is keep an overall awareness of what's going on in the Atlantic Ocean, which includes the Caribbean, and certainly Beryl is in that area of our general interest. With this storm, there doesn't seem to be any indication that even any remnants will get up toward Canada. So it's more of a sort of side of the desk thing we're keeping an eye on. But because, we're meteorologists, we're still very intrigued by the nature of the storm, the fact that it's breaking records in terms of its early occurrence and intensity, and where it formed too is also very September-like, not late June, early July.
All right, Chris Fogarty, program manager and meteorologist from the Canadian Hurricane Center. Thanks a lot.
No problem.